Hey everyone, this is Dice on Ice. My name is Megan, and tonight I will be running the second half of a title unknown, a grim reality. And we're just going to get right into it. And we're going to kind of do a bit of a recap because it has been a very long time since these players have played. So, um, 4 players woke up in darkness. Nothing else but the beating, like the sound of a heart monitor. Eventually, they learned that each of them had no memory of where they were or who they are. And they've managed to get the lights working, get the backup power working. They have received the help of the AI computer installed into this place. They have discovered that this building is run by a mysterious company called PlasCorp. They found a map. They found a lobby. Found some guns, and they're just exploring right now just to see what they can do to get out. Right now, the access to the outside is barred, and the way to access it is by a key card from a senior person with this company, and also to start up the main generators. And so, where we left them off, they had walked into this what looked to be cold storage, which just had shelves upon shelves of these petri dishes. And in these petri dishes were colonies of this odd bacteria that had glowing green specks in it. And each of them recognized this bacteria as bacteria from beyond. And just as they were investigating, they heard the doors shut around them and lock into place. And an eerie voice could be heard coming from all around them. Daddy, I'm so cold. Please help me. Help me, please. And so, that is where we're going to start. I'd like everyone to roll for initiative. If you don't know your initiative modifiers, I can tell you. And then we're going to start a skill challenge for you guys to get out of this locked, apparently, cold storage, essentially.
So can I get my initiative bonus, please?
Yeah, so yours is +2.
Okay.
Nick, yeah, yours is +4. And Jeff, yours is +2.
So I got a net 20 for an initiative. So it's a total of 22.
Okay. Yeah, and Nico, yours is a +4, so you got an 8.
8 total. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start off with Josh. Your character begins to feel the cold begins to feel the chill of the air as you find that all these doors have shut, and immediately you hear the sound of alarms going off. And the AI voice comes on and says, "Intruder alert. Intruder alert. Lockdown initiated. Intruder alert."
Wait. Intruder? How are we intruders? We've been here. How how are we intruders? And I almost imagine him like trying to see all the other doors that may be there and just trying to get them open and just completely not succeeding at all. Probably taking out his tools and just trying to pry it open, but not being all that successful.
Yeah, so you can pick from a skill from the list that I gave you in the chat and tell me how you would use it, and then roll to see if you succeed against the room DC of 15.
So I'm probably gonna use my tools to try to get one of the doors open. So I would assume tech. All right, so 18. What's my
So
modifier?
your tech modifier is is +7, I believe. So you yeah, +7. So you more than succeed at this, and
All right,
so
yeah.
using I suppose your tools and maybe you're trying to unscrew things more than trying to pry it open. You're trying to figure out a way to get this lock open, and so that is going to be a success. And so you can hear the door begin to screech. So you know you've made some progress, but it's not enough for now. Um, all right, and then we will go down the line to Jeff.
So I think as the doors are locked in and shut now, he's trying to dismantle the door just by brute force. He's going to try to kind of calm himself and focus himself and try to actually take a full look around this room. Look for anything that might be useful, any clearance cards, any information, anything that he can find. Just trying to use investigation here to see what I can get.
Sure.
And I don't know what my mod is for that, but it's a 17 on the die.
Okay, and your mod for investigation is a +3. So yeah, you also clear the room, DC, and you take a quick sweep around the room. You see that one of the doors, in fact, the door that Josh is working on, the hinges are a bit rusty from the constant freezing and thawing. So you can see that there's a bit of structural integrity lost in this door, and you also look up and you see that there is an airflow vent on the ceiling above you. You see tons and tons of shelving, and you also see what looks to be a terminal alongside one of the other doors leading out of the cold room. And yeah, that is what you see, and that is another success. And so now, all of a sudden, Josh, you're trying to fiddle with this door with your tools, and all of a sudden, you see a girl staring through the door. There's a little bit of glass, like a little kind of a little porthole. Very, very small. The glass is very, very thick. But you can still see her face. You can even see the condensation that her breath is leaving on the side of this window. And she looks at you with these black eyes, and slowly her face begins to melt. Skin sliding and becoming saggy. And she opens her mouth into this wide black scream, but no sound comes out. But she just continues to look at you. And if anyone else were to look at this door, you would see her as well. And so, oh, sorry.
Just like seeing something like that, my mouth would drop as my eyes begin to kind of widen at the sight of this young child just melting before my eyes. My hands starting to shake and my tools rattling against the screws. I don't know how if I could do this, but like use persuasion to kind of keep myself focused, so that way I can continue to work on the door.
Yeah, so we'll just wait until it just gets back around to you, to see how you use the skill to react. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. It's actually going to be your
That's right,
other.
Nicholas.
It's actually going to be your other companion's turn. A man who he looks very frightened, and he kind of is looking around frantically at things to do, ways to get out. But you can see that he is clearly panicking and freezing up under this pressure. And as soon as he lays eyes on this girl, he stiffens. And this girl looks at him and just kind of tilts her head to the side a little bit. And you hear this horrible cracking noise. And you see that your companion's head is no longer facing in the right direction, but is turned all the way around in this expression of fear and surprise, and he slumps down to the floor. Nico.
Like, whisperly mutter, "Fuck this," like putting my hands up to my face. I'm like fucking crazed by this. I will run, like probably like knock myself over into a bench in fear, like slapping on the ground, trying to regain like my standing. Make to those shelves and try and clamber up them and smash into the air vent and try and commando wriggle away from whatever I just saw. I think it's so terrifying that his flight response kicks in rather than trying to like even comprehend or process what just happened. So he's just running with like this, I don't know, frantic fear. So I don't know if that lends him strength or not, but my athletics roll is a 14 on the die.
Okay. You're Your strength modifier is actually a +0. So unfortunately,
So I'm just
and you
like
can
banging on it
describe that.
piteously. Ah! Like smashing at this grate, but I can't make it give way. And like look over my shoulder, like frantically, like, is it gaining on me? And I just see this guy's head turned the wrong way around his body, laying in an unholy position. It's like, ah!
Yeah, and as soon as this happens, the girl just seems to continue to stare at all of you, unmoving. And I'd like everyone to make a Constitution saving throw, please. Nico, you have a -1.
Then that makes it a 2.
Um,
Oh Lord.
Jeff, you have a +2, and Josh, you have a +0. So, Jeff and Nico, you each take 3 points of cold damage as this air and as this the environment around you is just getting frigid. And though adrenaline is pumping through you, you notice that your teeth are chattering. Your fingers are beginning to turn a bluish color. And so that brings us back up to Josh.
So just experiencing all of that, like completely taken back at just the sight of that. I almost imagine him having some sort of like picture just showing up in his head of like him holding like something in his hands, maybe wrapped up in some sort of cloth, and just like having the flashbacks and seeing like this little girl kind of melt away. If it's at all possible, I want to like persuade myself to like keep going, push through the images, focus on the now, to try to continue to do what I was doing prior, just convincing myself to keep push forward.
Okay. I would say that you can totally do that, and if you do succeed, I would say that you would get maybe advantage on the next thing that you wanted to do if you
Cool.
So, your persuasion is at a +1.
12 on die, so 13 total.
So you are just shaken by what you were seeing. It's not just the girl, it's not just your companion dying, it's also the cold, it's the blaring sirens going through it, the constant whine of the AI's voice saying intruder, intruder. It is just all kind of closing in on you. And maybe for the first time, you might not make it out here. And with that, we're going to go to Jeff.
Yeah, so I think I'm having a similar reaction to Nico's character at this point. Just this like absurd scenario laid out. Like things have already been weird, and now it's just insane. And that kind of like frantic feeling starts to pick up. That like, oh my god, I'm gonna die in this room. Like I don't want to die like this. Feeling takes over, and he goes to go help try to pry this grate loose. That Nico's character had already been pounding at. But with a 5 on the die, I don't think that's going to quite do it. So it's just like this in addition to everything that's happening, there's just this cacophony of two people just slamming on this grate, trying to get it knocked loose in any capacity they can, and it's just tight.
Yeah, and you guys can feel your muscles begin to shake and to spasm, even as you're trying to kick open this grate. And that is 3 fails. And so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give you guys 1 point of exhaustion, as you guys are just getting tired, frantically trying to get out. And Nico, we're going to kind of yeah, we'll just keep going. You're still at the 2 successes, I would say, but the fails kind of start over again. So, but the next 3 it will get increasingly worse. So, Nico.
So, Jeff, are you helping me bash at this grate? Is that right? Or are you trying to get out of it as well?
Yeah, that's the plan. He has a freak out reaction. He sees you just trying to slam it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'll help," but just does like nothing useful about it.
I'm pretty weak, and even weaker now that I'm like shivering in my teeth, the chattering. So in this manic desperation, I'll like stand at your rear and hold the pistol and just fire at this horror, this melting child. I'll probably like let off as many rounds as I can, like more than I need to, like before I realize that can it even be hurt? I don't know. But if it can't, I'd probably drop the pistol at my feet, like, running my hands up to either side of my face. I'm trying to think what skill I'd use if my back's up against a wall like this. I'm a weakling. Persuasion. I'll like plead to the AI to unlock the room or like override the if that childish horror was seeping into the intercom or the AI. I'll try and persuade the AI to reverse the settings of the room.
So the persuasion has already
Command
been
it. Oh, it's already been done, of course.
But what you could try to do if you wanted to try and talk with the AI is you could use maybe the terminal, use a tech.
Use my tech roll then to do that to that end, to that same end. I got a 15 on the die, so hopefully I don't have a negative.
Yeah, just to try and override
Yep.
what is
The door locks
happening.
and the freezing.
Yeah, your tech is a +2, so that is a success.
I probably fumble at the keys first and have to hit delete a heap of times, like, and then yeah, get it together and click it in. Oh, that's with disadvantage, right? Because I'm exhausted. Sorry.
Yes. Sorry.
No, I do like type in all the wrong buttons. I got a 4 on this 4 on the dice because of the disadvantage. So yeah, I'm just like at the terminal, like do the wrong thing again, and then delete, do the wrong thing again, and I've like locked myself out of it, like ah.
So sorry, you didn't roll. You rolled below a 15?
Yeah, I rolled horribly with the disadvantage.
Okay. All right. Okay, we're back up to. Actually, I'd like everyone to make a Constitution saving throw, please. Yeah, so Jeff and Josh. Jeff, you take another 2 points of cold damage. And you can just feel this horrible sensation. You feel very weak, and so you can kind of, if you want to just kind of describe how your character is feeling right now, you are definitely becoming just weaker and weaker.
Yeah, like it's just a complete, just utter system lockdown at this point. He's like just horrible shit. He's like now just like the freezing is taking hold, just like complete and utter panic. And when usually that feeling like subsides pretty quickly, in this feeling it's only being ramped up more and more. Just that like heart pounding in his chest, that like absolute freezing cold, which somehow doesn't seems to slow everything but his heart and his thoughts, as just complete panic and assuredness in his incoming death begins to take mind.
Absolutely. Josh.
Just the cold setting in to his face with everything else that's going on. He starts to turn his head to see where the other two are and notice that they're bashing everything and trying to talk to the AI, realizing that he can I almost imagine like because he went straight to the door at first, he didn't realize the like terminal until he does the half turn, and then he runs over to the terminal. Why must you always be locked out? And like getting down on his knees, trying to fiddle with some of the wires, and try to use tech to try to get everything back up on the terminal.
Yeah, okay. And I am gonna do a bit of a retcon. I know I'm a really awesome DM. But I think I like what Jeff was saying in terms of if you do fail at the skill, then it is still up for grabs. So that would mean that there is a tech left. So go ahead and roll.
Nat 20.
We have disadvantage
Yeah.
because of exhaustion. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but
Yeah.
Yes, but because of the other success with my
Yes.
persuasion, I got the advantage, so it cancels out, no?
Yes,
Yep.
you are right. So yeah, that is a success. So you can, you're logged in. You are trying your hardest to get through. You're trying to get through everything. Yes, sorry. I am so sorry. You did fail your persuasion, so if you could just roll again at disadvantage. Josh.
15 on die, so.
Okay, so that's still a success. I am so sorry. Yeah, so you're just trying to get in. You're just trying to get access. And you know that if you just put in that little extra time, you can get it through, but it might not be enough, and it might take too long to override everything to get through, but you are definitely working on that. So okay. Then that leaves Jeff.
so at this point, I think suddenly I remember something that happened in the previous room, and kind of just a light switch moment happens, just out of the sheer panic of it all, and I just turn over to Nico's character, just say, "Oh, I remembered. I can do this." And he puts a hand out, and there's blue light that emanates from his hand. And this kind of sensation comes to you, uh, almost a calming and strong of an effect, but kind of a boost yourself. The exhaustion slip away a little. I'm going to use my boost fade, which puts me at 3 fade. I don't know what my limit is. So if I need to roll, you can tell me to do that. But on your check, Nico, you will roll a d8 and add it to the total.
I think that pushes me to the threshold of madness, but such is the need, I'll just like course into action on my turn with the boon.
You're muted there, Megan, if you were saying something.
Oops. Yeah. Jeff, you said you were at 3 now?
3 fade, yes.
Okay. You can feel the strain that this is putting on you. This, whatever it is, this power, this weird thing that you can do, it's not unlimited, and it doesn't come without costs. You can just kind of feel that in the back of your mind. It does slowly subside, but you can tell that if you tried again, the consequences may not be positive. Okay. So Nico, you are bolstered by your companion. What would you like to do?
Can I see this horror advancing on us?
For now, she just looks like she's staring, almost waiting for something.
I'm going to grab that shelf of weird-ass petri dishes and glowing malfeasance and hurl it at her and the broke-neck corpse of the fourth stranger with an athletics check. So it'll be a disadvantage, but plus D8. And I can do strength, right? Because I failed the last strength.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think only one strength has been used so far, and it failed, so there's still the full.
Okay, so it's not gonna be enough because I have a negative to strength. So with the D8, my total will be 13. So minus 1, I believe, would be 12. So I'll probably just like upturn it, but don't even get to like hurl it at her. It's just so terrifying. I'm standing there quavering amongst this like ruined scientific work. Yeah, similar to Jeff, I see my death in that melting maw.
Okay. You are at 3 successes and 2 failures. You only need 1 more success. Josh.
So, kind of coming back up to the computer, seeing that they're trying to get the door open and just trying to stay at least somewhat focused on the task at hand. I kind of want to maybe, so the way I don't know if you guys would agree that it would be insight, but I want to just kind of realizing that I'm kind of techie and everything, do like an insight check to notice if there's anything on the terminal that would give me direct access to the AI, where she can cancel the the alarms and everything, and kind of just.
Yeah, I would allow that. I think that is a very good use of insight.
All right.
Just trying to like reach into your memory and trying to just to understand what you are capable of and to see if you notice anything.
So I'm almost 100% sure this didn't work. So kind of just like with the cold and just being afraid and everything of that sort, he's just scanning the screen of the computer with nothing working, looking up at the other two and just, please tell me whatever you're doing is working. I can't figure this out. Can we at least get some sort of heater going? Trying to lighten the mood.
So that's a fail.
Yeah, I got a 3 on the dice. I don't think I have any sort of insight modifier to give me.
So at another 3 fails, suddenly you guys, especially you, Josh, you see the girl's face get closer and closer to the window. Impossibly close. And then she begins to go through the door, eyes never moving from each one of you, never blinking. You're all going to die, just like you killed me. And she just phases through, and now she is in the room with you guys. And so I'm going to add the possibility of you, in addition to any skills you might want to do, you also have the option to attack. To attack her, to do something that is going to be in addition to your skills. Yeah, so that's going to be to Jeff.
Yeah, I don't think attacking is quite in the cards at this point. Like, for all I understand, this is the thing that turned our friend's head backwards without even touching him. So the idea of angering this thing further with an attack is not exactly a priority. I think at this point, like I've just like after everything that's happened, like this like feeling of the strain from using the Astra, even if though as a character I don't know that that's necessarily what it is. Mixed with everything that's happening, like he's just like crouched on the ground, trying not to freak out, and trying not to die. But eventually, one last ditch effort would, I imagine, happen. And he sees those weak hinges on that door that Josh had already begun working on earlier on, and he's just gonna throw his entire being into a shoulder, just trying to break at the rusty hinges. Though in his weak state, that is unlikely. That is 11 on the die. My strength, as I have it marked, is -1, so that'll be a 10. Not enough. It
So
just
that is
slams uselessly against the door.
Yeah. So that is a fail. Nico.
I'm gonna scramble, shaking over like the broken shelving and scattered dishes to find the gun that I dropped from a rising fear, and from like a sitting back, like to like try and amble away, like with your boot heels away from something shooting like at it as I go, scrambling towards a corner to die in while trying to empty as many bullets as I can into this thing now that it's in the room. So I'll make an attack roll. It's a two on the dice. So it doesn't matter how much of a crack shot I am. Each one is just like around the backlit horror. Like imagine bullets ricocheting nearby, and she's just like, ha, 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 ha. And I'd probably am screaming now, my voice cracking. Yeah, I didn't roll at disadvantage. I didn't roll at disadvantage, thanks, so Josh. I just rolled straight up on the dice roller here.
Her head would just kind of almost move robotically to face you and just kind of tilting. She would just kind of look at you without her body moving and almost have this horribly sick, disfigured grin on her melting face. And she is going to move as she looks at you, Nico. I want you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
That's a nat 1 on the con save.
So she just looks at you, and immediately you feel this pain. And you drop. You feel her bring back almost all these memories kind of start flooding back into your mind. You know this girl, at least when she was alive. Or when she wasn't, whatever this is. And you immediately feel a odd connection to her, a bond, and it kind of does, that feeling kind of dissolves into this horrible feeling of guilt that washes over you. And you fall. And you black out. Okay, so, Josh.
Oh man, I gotta figure something out because everything's at disadvantage. Let's see, what skills do we have left? Acrobatics and 1 strength, right?
2 strength, because I think that there had all been fails, and then the acrobatics.
Oh man. All right, so I don't know. I don't think I'm strong enough, but would I be able to like do something to get the guy who just dropped like away from this figure using acrobatics? So that way we can try to like get him up maybe on the next turn with something.
Sure, yeah. You can like kind of, I would imagine with acrobatics.
Or maybe like I'm doing.
I
like
would probably
sort of,
do
like,
strength
bounce.
with that.
Okay, yeah, I guess
don't know
that
if
works.
acrobatics would work, because I don't think you're gonna cartwheel over to him, but I don't know.
Or I can start doing cartwheels around the girl, trying to give Jeff,
Distraction.
essentially create like a distraction using acrobatics. I think that would be cooler. I want to do that. All right. Oh, and the dice don't want me to do that. I got 6 on the dice. Oh man.
Okay. I don't even know how this is possible. All you guys have gotten 8 fails. And 3 successes. Okay. Jeff. So yeah, I would almost imagine that your body at this point is almost too cold to be able to do any form of maneuvering or anything like that. Oh, sorry. Quickly too, Josh and Jeff, make a Constitution saving throw, please.
12 on die. What's my con mod?
Your con mod is 0.
Oh, okay. So I failed.
Okay. So Josh, you feel the sting of 3 points of cold damage sear through you. And at this point, your legs, everything is numb. At this point, you've stopped shivering, which is probably the most terrifying, because now your body is completely numb. Jeff.
Yeah, I imagine at this point we've gotten to that point where we're so cold that we start to feel that warmth, which is like a sign that like the end is coming if you don't find something soon, where your body just gives up trying to fight it, and it's just like, well, let's see. I think at this point, I think like you say, like just the cold is so strong, so weak that like ability to actually get up and do anything is limited. And just in a last ditch effort, since I think we've still failed it every time, I'm just gonna start pleading, just begging to the AI, please. I don't know what we did. I don't remember anything. Just please let us out. Just crawling towards the door as if anything else could possibly happen, knowing that if nothing happens, that I'm just gonna freeze at a moment's notice. And with disadvantage, that is a 7 on the die. So unless my persuasion is like super ball and out of control, I don't think it's gonna do it.
No, you have a +0. So Jeff, this girl looks at you. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
That is actually a modified 20.
Fantastic. All right, let's see. Roll. Let's see. Jeff, you also recognize this girl. She was the second to last test subject You experimented. And you immediately know that who you are in this last moment, in your last vision. Your vision almost seems clearer as you look at this girl. And that you recognize that you were Dr. Kinderman, one of the scientists who pushed for progress, who pushed through human trials, even though it wasn't ready yet, because animals were dying. This was not a proven method that would work with this bacteria, but you pushed it anyway. You pushed for the cure. And you just have this sense of realization that this girl was a test subject who died because it wasn't ready, because this thing wasn't ready. And Josh, your body begins to shut down, and you can feel it. And you too begin to realize that who you were, another scientist, another person who wanted to push science, to push at any cost. Little did your this terrible sense of guilt overcomes you. And so this is actually where this title unknown game ends. And with all of you dead, succumb to the elements of a freezer and a small girl. But maybe this is what you all deserved, as you kind of realize yourselves what you had done. And it's kind of a poetic ending, in that you didn't get a chance to try and save yourself or even redeem yourself, because that is not real life. So anyway, yeah, that's it. That is the unfortunate end to title unknown, ending unknown. I am so sorry.
Don't be. That was awesome. That was great.
Yeah, that
was
was
just
terrifying. I got chills from the first encounter with our nemesis / victim / vengeance.
That was a
Yeah.
complete twist, not knowing that we were monsters.
Yeah, the first twist being Jake's character's neck. That scared me into fleeing.
Yeah.
At first,
Yeah,
I felt
it
like,
just-
am I a guinea pig being experimented on? And then it rose to, I'm losing my sanity and freezing.
I mean,
Yeah,
to be
it
honest,
was-
this whole time I thought we were the victims.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
wow.
Nope.
Not quite.
Not quite.
No matter how many times you do that voice, it scares the bejesus out of me.
I know.
Yeah.
That's got to be an
like
ab-tab record for TPK within the first hour. It's like 54-minute TPK.
It's just how the dice, like at
Yeah.
one fail it's exhaustion, and
Yeah.
another fail the girl came through, and at the third fail you guys all took we're all going to take I think it was 6 damage, which was, Josh, that's what you were at, and then which
Yeah.
wouldn't have killed you if you hadn't have, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I was like, man, there's no way they're gonna get to 3 failures, and if they do that, then there's no point. It's like yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes the dice kill everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes the dice decree that's where it ends.
Man, if Jake would have
I've
been
seen-
here, we would have succeeded. I know, because he would have added to our chance of success. So I hope he's listening. No, just kidding.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I've
since we did
seen faster character deaths, but I think that's the fastest full party kill that I've seen
Yup.
in a game.
Yeah, same here.
Props,
Yeah. Props. So since we didn't really get to a break, everyone can kind of introduce themselves, and yeah, we'll go in order with Jeff.
Yeah, I'm Jeff. I have a YouTube channel in Counterbalance that I run games on. I also do a podcast with some friends, Jeremy, Lily, and Chad Nick, called The Dudes of Yore. Also on YouTube right now, that we're trying to figure out how to get that onto some podcasting websites as well to have some more access to that. And yeah, this was short but a lot of fun. And I'm glad that you had it in you to actually kill us, because a lot of GMs wouldn't. And I actually like that this is how it ends rather than being given a free pass. So very enjoyable despite the quickness of it.
Awesome. Yeah, always good to have you. Excellent player. So thank you. And Josh.
I'm Josh. I'm on RPG Enlightenment. I'm a third of RPG Enlightenment, and I just joined the Dargon Gaming Squad, which I believe I'm also a third of. So a lot more stuff is coming up. We're gonna actually start a series coming up, top 10 tabletop. So it's gonna be different things for tabletop stuff that we just kind of figure out and give you guys our ideas and stuff. So look out for that.
Awesome. Yeah. Also another great player. So thanks for coming out and being willing to do the second part. Last but not least, he who was spared from the knowledge of what he was, Nico.
Thanks for the game, Megan. I'm a fraction of nothing, but I'd heavily recommend Jeff's and Megan's channels. I enjoyed the first half of this game and the second in the same macabre sense that Jeff hinted at. It's good to be slaughtered like this, because I know in future games of yours it'll feel more rewarding to succeed if I don't die in horrifying circumstances. So props. The tyrant will be put to shame at how quickly he just dismembered us. I love the use of effects and props and extra work that you put into it. It made my immersion so much more. I was just raving about it last couple of days. To anyone who would listen, that it's a mad skill that you add to your repertoire to provide us for the game. So thanks heaps for going the extra mile with that. And it was short but sweetly horrifying.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, everyone who watched this very short but horrific game. And thanks to everyone who watches it in the future. Have a good evening.